I really like the horizontal block scapular car. It's my favorite way to really visualize the scaps, and I think it carries over a lot to a lot of basic exercises. So using a yoga block or something you can squeeze in front of you, please join me somewhere comfortable. You do not, I'm gonna show you this one cross-legged. You do not have to sit. You can come to a chair, you can stand if you'd like, but be in a position that forces you to be a little bit upright, to use some tension throughout your body. So again, don't have to be cross-legged, comfortable position for you. We're going to train 3 reps of specific protraction and retraction first, and then global scapular cars. Love to clean up our specifics and then add to our reps. So get a breath in, nice and proud to the chest. Exhale that air, feel the rib cage pull down and compress. Squeeze the yoga block between the arms, radiate some tension on that block. I want you to hold it. From here, protract. You're going to reach the block forward by spreading the shoulder blades. You should actually see the block move, not up and down, just forward. From there, you're going to retract, trying to pinch the shoulder blades together, pulling the yoga block towards you. That's it. Scapula specific for protraction, shrugging forward, maintain tension on that block throughout. Try not to bend those elbows, try not to rotate those shoulders. Retract back, we'll do it one more time. Reach yoga block forward, no motion in the spine. Squeeze the yoga block back. You should really feel your upper back just properly. So now we're in scapular retraction. I want you to add elevation. Shrug up to your ears. Yoga block should follow the shrug. Use your shoulders to guide the arms. Reach forward into protraction. Shrug down now. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards the floor. Scapula depression. It's tough. Retract, pinch back. Shrug up. This is a global scapular car now. Reach forward, shrug down. Retract those scaps, elevate them up, protract those scaps, and depress them. From here, can we reverse direction? From scap depression, elevate up, retract, pinch them, and shrug down to the hips. Do not bend your elbows. I know it's tiring. Forward, protract, shrug up, retract, and shrug down. Last rep, reaching that block forward, shrugging it up, pinching it back, and shrugging it down. Now, I want to clean up a common weak point. It is really common to see an issue controlling and disassociating scapular protraction from scapular elevation and scapular retraction from scapular elevation. It's very, very common that we will fake by shrugging up for protraction and retraction. Before you can have strong scaps and a lot of good control for the scapula, you really want to be to isolate protraction and retraction first. Call this a protraction press. It's going to be an end range liftoff for scapular protraction. Basically, what we're going to do is take the yoga block and elevate the right hand. From here, as soon as my hand is elevated, you'll notice my scapula has to retract just to be here. Try not to fake up into elevation, but it's got to jump towards the spine just to have room. So from there, I'm going to take a breath in. Radiate tension. I'm going to think about my tricep, my upper back, my lat, even my pec. I'm going to press the yoga block through the floor, driving myself away from the ground. Notice how I've lifted this hand from the ground. I did not rotate my spine to lift up. I pressed through my right scapula, protracting, spreading away from the spine to lift the hand. So it's a lift off for scapular protraction. Join me here. Let's get 5. You should really feel this. Take a breath in. Irradiate some tension. Find your core. Find your upper back. Think about your tricep. From your upper back, you're going to push the yoga block through the ground. Keep driving away. Push, 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 push. Do not turn your chest. Hold at the top. Should feel your lat almost like it wants to cramp out. Maintain that effort and slowly decelerate back to the starting position. That's 1. Feeling your end range protraction is often crampy at first. Push through that hand. Drive away. Push, 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 push. Max out protraction, lowering back down. We're getting 5. Use that exhale. If you're someone who has a history of shoulder pain, shoulder injuries, building strength in protraction is often a common weak point. Push through that floor. Some of my favorites, training for reps will get nice and tiring. As you get stronger at these, you could add more time under tension, longer reps, slower reps, maybe more reps. Finishing through your 5 and coming back down. Let's just flip to the left. So hand goes on the block. That's going to force my scapula into some retraction. Try not to fake by arching your back. Keep your rib cage down. Keep your head squeezed back. From here, get a breath in. Exhale. Radiate tension. Left tricep, left upper back, left pec even. Push the floor away. Drive to that yoga block until the right hand floats as high as you can. Holds at the top. Should really feel that lat tissue. Decelerate back down. Take your time. Try not to rotate from the spine. We'll get 5. Strength and protraction can be thought of the first need with reteaching scapula strength. If your shoulder blades struggle, this should be an exercise you want to revisit a lot. As you build control here, you're going to notice those scap cars really cleaning up, those shoulders feeling a lot stronger. Continuing here, we got 1 more rep. Breath in. Push all the way through that block and come back down. Again, the common cheat there is some rotation. You'll notice as you protract, you're going to fake by turning your torso. Be really strict with those. Try not to turn the shoulders. Next up is scapular retraction. These might look easy, but they're so challenging. I'm going to be right back into the same position. If this is bothering your knees, you could also do this kneeling with your hand against the wall, but I like it quadruped. It's a little more strict. If you've got the ball, please grab it. You also make a fist, put the ball or whatever you've got, and you could use whatever you have at home. It could be something smaller than this. Make sure it's sturdy. We're going to block ourselves into a little bit of scapular retraction, but not quite as much as we were before. From there, I'm going to squeeze my tricep, my upper back, and this time I'm trying to pull my arm away from the floor, pulling my scapula to my spine. Common fake here is letting the arm fake out wide or really bending the elbow. These are tough. Do your best to get 5 of these. Breath in. Irradiate that upper back. We're going to try and pinch our shoulder blades, squeeze the hand away from the floor, decelerate back down. Try not to, again, rotate away through the spine. Rep 2. Back down. Lock that tricep, pull from that lat. Rep 4. Should really feel these. Upper back should get fatigued, lifting up and back down. Okay, switching sides, same idea. Make that left fist now, block yourself onto the lacrosse ball. If you have a lot of retraction, you might be to go a little bit further, but the yoga block is probably too high. Keep everything squared towards the ground. Irradiate tension, your tricep, your upper back. A breath in. Lift that hand up. Decelerate back down. Try not to let the arm jump wide. Try not to bend that elbow. Try not to arch your back. You're just pulling scapula, spine, and decelerating. The common cheat here, remember, is that scap elevation. Try not to let that shoulder blade jump up. One more time. And back down. All right, I like those 2 liftoffs, the protraction press and that retraction liftoff, to isolate scapular motion. If you feel like your protraction retraction is limited, training those should really help.
Next up, we have our first controlled articular rotation of the day. We're going to go with a side lying hip car. This is one of my favorite introductions to hip cars. You're going to come down onto your side like you just woke up. Hand is rested behind your head. Opposite hand comes down to the floor. Give yourself some tension. We're going to drive up. This is hip flexion. Open out. This is abduction. Internally rotate. We'll be working on this plenty in a minute. Reach into extension. Pull that leg down to the floor. Now reverse. We hip extend. Knee lifts. Heel follows. Pull knee to armpit and knee to chest. We're just taking our hip through its global range of motion. Just 3 reps here. Pull up. Open out. Heavy on that bottom leg. Stare at that femur. Internally rotate. Kick that heel back. Heavy on this bottom arm. Reach back. Now we reverse. We hip extend. Externally rotate. Knee comes up and around. Last rep here. Reset that ankle dorsiflexion so you don't use your knee instead of your hip. Open out. As a reminder, a car, any car, we try to max out each range of motion without compensating factors. So we're trying not to move from the back, keeping stiff in that bottom leg. We pull up and around. Feel that hip working in rotation. Let's get the opposite side. We are in our side lying hip car setup. All eyes are on that left hip flexor. Pre-tension. Start driving that knee to chest. Open out. Max out hip abduction without rolling backward. Internally rotate. Reach into extension. Feel those glutes. Now we reverse. Extend. Trying to make this controlled. I want to see control rather than swinging. And this is a good opportunity. Observe that hip. What are some side-to-side differences that you notice? Where are some limitations and ranges of motion? That is all very important to think about when you are doing your car. Pull up, reach around, reset, one more rep. Heavy in that bottom hand, pushing into the ground. Same thing with that leg. Open out so you can isolate everything about this left hip as we take it through its global range of motion. One last half rep into extension, pull up, around, and then knee meets knee. Okay, next up we are going to practice some passive range liftoffs for both internal and external rotation. I have my bench closer. You can take one yoga block. We're going to start with internal rotation first. So let's come back down to that sideline position. I'm on my left bicep. My right leg is up, and I'm going to squeeze this yoga block in between my knees to get some internal tension. Now here I can easily clear this target. I can easily lift off. That's how you know it's an appropriate target for you. So you can get a low bench, you can use your couch or a coffee table, something similar, but I do want your foot to be propped up on a target. I don't want to see that spine dumped into the ground. This is hanging out with your friends at the beach. This is training your hip mobility. There's a difference. Okay, we're going to get 6 liftoffs and really feel that shortening regressive angle of hip internal rotation. Might be the part of your hip car that you struggle with. I want you to pre-tension your upper outer glute. Squeeze down onto the block, stay heavy there. All we're doing is lifting off of the target, feeling this end range, and floating back down. That's rep 1. Reset, inhale, pre-tension, exhale, lift high, set back down. Did anything change? Did your pelvis try to hike? Did your knee try to extend or flex? Keep that 90-degree angle. Try to keep everything super strict. We're just isolating, crush the block, lift off, hip internal rotation. Feel that. Set down. 3 more reps. Lift off, hold strong. 2, 1, 2 more. Hope this area gets fatigued. Lift off, hold strong. Set down. One last one. Pre-tension. Lock that ankle into dorsiflexion. Squeeze up, float and hold, and set back down. We're going to flip sides. Let's get these liftoffs for this left side. 90-degree angle between hip, knee, and ankle. Very important. We initiate by locking that ankle into dorsiflexion. This way we don't rely on knee rotation instead of hip rotation. We pre-tension upper outer glute, heavy in the floor, bridging away. Now we crush the block, lift off, hold, float back down. Reset, nothing else moves. Crush the block, lift off, just that hip internally rotating. Set down. Nice to meet your hip internal rotators, right? Crush, lift, hold. 2, 1, float down. Last 3, crush, lift, hold. Can we get another inch? Set down, reset, bridge away, connect with this upper outer glute area. Hold strong, use that exhale. Inhale on the way down, last one, crush the block. Exhale, hold strong, 2, 1, and set back down. Okay, we can come on out of this position. Now it's time to address external rotation. Okay, the order of operations, we prioritize internal rotation. Next up is external rotation. I'm going to show you a modified sideline 90-90 position. So we kick this leg out straight. Opposite leg, that very important 90-degree angle. It is the greatest amount of torque or rotation the human body can produce. That's why we are so keen on it. You're going to fold down to your elbow. Now we're going to need our 2 different yoga blocks. One is here for underneath your rib cage. The second block props up your hip if you have this access to this much external rotation. So assess yourself. From here, I'm going to show you one and you'll do the remaining 6 with me. We're bridging away from the block. We're not teaching our back that it can laterally bend instead of lifting our hip. Going to pre-tension upper inner groin now. Heavy in the knee. We're going to lift off the block. Try to clear it 1 to 2 inches and set down. Reset. That's our passive range liftoff. Bridging away from the floor actively. Get these 6 reps with me. Pre-tension. Squeeze that ankle into dorsi. Crush knee. Lift heel. Hold. 2, 1. Set down. Reset. Did you try to laterally bend? Check in, lift off, hold strong. 2, 1, set down. Teaching our nervous system, crush, lift. It's strong in external rotation for the hip. Set down, reset. Make sure we're not rotating that knee. Crush the knee to the floor, lift off, hold. That's why I keep cueing ankle dorsiflexion, set down. Make sure that your lower limb is a statue other than crushing, lifting, feeling upper inner groin. 2, 1, set down, 2 more. Feel things, probably, crush, lift, hold, 2, 1, set down, last one, bridge away, squeeze those ears back. Exhale, lift, try to get another inch up, 2, 1, and set down. Okay, let's get the opposite side. Opposite leg is straight. You want a straight line between your ear, shoulder, hip, and heel. And last but not least, this yoga block is propped under your outside ankle, bridging away from the floor. Let's get these 6 reps all together. We crush the thigh to the ground. We pre-tension upper inner groin. We dorsiflex that ankle. We lift off and hold strong. 2, 1, set down. I notice on this side it's easier for me to clear. Press that knee into the floor. Lift off, hold. 2, 1, set down. Reset, bridge away, squeeze those ears back. Lift off, hold. 2, 1, set down. Resetting, the rest of the body is a statue. You can also give me a power fist. Lift, hold. 2, 1, 2 more. Lift, float that heel to the sky. Don't change that angle that your knee's in. Set down, last one, bridging away, squeezing back, lifting and holding. 2, 1, and set down. Okay, you can come on out of this position.